I think that's like the sign of a good relationship. It's always been the one kind of constant with Blake and I is that, like, you know, we really root for each other.
Blake Lively's attempt to take down Justin Baldoni has backfired in the worst way. She thought she could leak damaging HR complaints and turn Hollywood against him, but now the truth is out. Sony has exposed the so-called complaints as fake, and Baldoni isn't just defending himself, he's hitting back harder than ever. The scandal is spiraling out of control, and Blake's career might not survive it. How did we get here? And why is this shaping up to be one of Hollywood's biggest celebrity downfalls? Let's break it down. It all began when confidential HR complaints against Justin Baldoni mysteriously surfaced online. The leaked documents painted Baldoni as a nightmare on set, with accusations of inappropriate behavior and creating a hostile work environment. The timing? Suspiciously perfect. Right as Blake Lively was preparing to file a lawsuit against Baldoni, these so-called official HR reports appeared on social media, fueling a media frenzy. The accusations spread like wildfire, capturing the attention of tabloids and entertainment news. Fans quickly took sides, and Justin Baldoni's reputation was hanging in the balance. But there was just one problem. Sony's denial didn't just cast doubt on the allegations, it completely shattered their credibility. The revelation that no official HR complaints existed made people question the true motive behind these leaks. Who wanted to see Baldoni taken down so badly? And why was the timing so convenient? To make matters worse for Lively, experts started analyzing the leaked documents, and something didn't add up. The formatting was inconsistent with Sony's internal HR reports, and key dates were missing. Clear signs that these official complaints might not be so official after all. If they were real, why weren't they filed through proper channels? And if they were fabricated, who was behind them? Industry insiders began whispering about an inside job. Could someone close to Lively have staged the leaks? Was this part of a larger strategy to tarnish Baldoni's career and sway public opinion in her favor? As these questions mounted, the narrative started shifting. What was once a scandal targeting Baldoni was quickly turning into a nightmare for Lively. Right as Blake Lively was preparing to file a lawsuit against Baldoni, these so-called official HR reports appeared on social media, fueling a media frenzy. The accusations spread like wildfire, capturing the attention of tabloids and entertainment news. Fans quickly took sides, and Justin Baldoni's reputation was hanging in the balance. But there was just one problem. Sony's denial didn't just cast doubt on the allegations, it completely shattered their credibility. The revelation that no official HR complaints existed made people question the true motive behind these leaks. Who wanted to see Baldoni taken down so badly? And why was the timing so convenient? In a rare and shocking move, Sony publicly denied ever receiving any HR complaints against Baldoni. None. That's right, the very company that supposedly had these reports in their files is saying they don't exist. And if that doesn't scream setup, I don't know what does. Sony's response wasn't just a statement, it was a message. The company made it clear that they weren't going to let false accusations tarnish their production. The entertainment industry took notice. If Sony, a major studio, was willing to step in and shut down these rumors, then something wasn't adding up. So if these HR reports weren't real, who was behind the leak? Was it an inside job? And most importantly, what was the endgame? The release of these so-called HR complaints was anything but random. They appeared right when Lively was preparing to file her lawsuit, ensuring maximum media attention. Coincidence? Hardly. The entertainment industry is no stranger to public feuds, but the way this played out suggested a carefully crafted attack. The HR complaints conveniently aligned with Lively's legal filing, creating a coordinated effort to damage Baldoni's public image before he even had a chance to respond. It was a move designed for maximum impact. Industry insiders started whispering, was this all planned? Had someone deliberately planted the narrative ahead of time, ensuring that Baldoni would be seen as guilty in the court of public opinion? If so, it wasn't just a scandal anymore. It was a full-blown takedown attempt. Justin Baldoni didn't just sit back and let the accusations destroy him. He came armed with receipts, real evidence that directly contradicts Lively's claims. Behind-the-scenes footage, statements from crew members, and even leaked audio completely debunked the allegations against him. His team wasted no time in releasing footage from the set, showing that interactions between him and Lively were nothing out of the ordinary. The so-called inappropriate behavior was never captured on camera. Crew members stepped forward to vouch for Baldoni, stating that they had never witnessed any misconduct. The evidence was overwhelming, and it made one thing clear. But Baldoni didn't stop there. His legal team went on the offensive, demanding transparency and a full investigation into how these false accusations were spread. They began questioning the credibility of those pushing the allegations, highlighting inconsistencies in the leaked HR complaints. If these claims were real, why did Sony deny any record of them? If Lively was telling the truth, why hadn't other actors or crew members come forward with similar experiences? As pressure mounted, more cracks started to show in Lively's narrative. Anonymous sources who had initially backed the claims began walking them back, suggesting they had been misled or pressured into participating in the smear campaign. Some even admitted they had never personally witnessed any misconduct, but had been encouraged to speak out based on hearsay. Baldoni's strategy was working. He wasn't just defending himself, he was exposing the coordinated effort to ruin his reputation. As more facts emerged, it became increasingly clear that this wasn't just a misunderstanding or a miscommunication. This was intentional, a calculated attack designed to destroy his career and credibility. With every new piece of evidence, the tide continued to turn. Baldoni wasn't just surviving this scandal, he was dismantling it piece by piece. The more Lively's camp tried to control the narrative, the more it unraveled before their eyes. Justin Baldoni didn't just sit back and let the accusations destroy him, he came armed with receipts, real evidence that directly contradicts Lively's claims. Behind-the-scenes footage, statements from crew members, and even leaked audio completely debunked the allegations against him. His team wasted no time in releasing footage from the set, showing that interactions between him and Lively were nothing out of the ordinary. The so-called inappropriate behavior was never captured on camera. Crew members stepped forward to vouch for Baldoni, stating that they had never witnessed any misconduct. The evidence was overwhelming, and it made one thing clear: Blake Lively's claims weren't holding up. Leaking confidential HR documents could have serious legal repercussions, including defamation and evidence tampering charges. Hollywood insiders are reportedly distancing themselves from Lively. Studios don't want to risk working with someone who might expose internal matters for personal gain. Reputation in Hollywood is everything, and as the cracks in Lively's story began to show, so did the hesitation from major studios. No one wanted to be associated with a scandal that could lead to legal action. If Lively was willing to go this far to take down a co-star, who else could she target? The entertainment industry thrives on relationships, and Blake Lively was now at risk of becoming radioactive. Baldoni has countersued Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds for $400 million, accusing them of defamation and civil extortion. If proven, this lawsuit could have massive financial and career implications for Lively and Reynolds. This wasn't just about clearing Baldoni's name anymore, it was about holding those responsible accountable. If Baldoni could prove that Lively and Reynolds had orchestrated a smear campaign against him, the fallout would be massive. But what made this lawsuit even more shocking was the extent of the accusations. Baldoni's legal team alleged that Lively and Reynolds not only spread false information, but actively worked behind the scenes to blacklist Baldoni from future Hollywood projects. The lawsuit detailed how Lively's camp allegedly pressured media outlets to run damaging stories, while Reynolds, using his industry influence, sought to sway powerful executives against Baldoni. This wasn't just a case of defamation, it was an orchestrated effort to destroy a career. Legal experts weighed in, stating that if Baldoni's team could provide substantial evidence, the case could result in a landmark ruling in Hollywood's history of reputation attacks. The $400 million figure wasn't just a random sum, it was calculated based on Baldoni's projected losses from film deals, endorsements, and brand partnerships that had either been put on hold or completely canceled due to the controversy. As this legal battle escalated, industry insiders began choosing sides. Some saw Baldoni as a man fighting to reclaim his reputation, while others questioned whether this lawsuit was just another strategic move in an already vicious Hollywood war. Regardless, one thing was clear: this was no longer just a public scandal, it had become one of the biggest courtroom battles in modern Hollywood history. Baldoni has countersued Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds for $400 million, accusing them of defamation and civil extortion. If proven, this lawsuit could have massive financial and career implications for Lively and Reynolds. This wasn't just about clearing Baldoni's name anymore, it was about holding those responsible accountable. If Baldoni could prove that Lively and Reynolds had orchestrated a smear campaign against him, the fallout would be massive. Lively's team allegedly planted negative stories about Baldoni long before filing official complaints, creating a media narrative against him. From anonymous leaks to out-of-context audio, the pattern is clear. This was a calculated effort to destroy Baldoni's reputation. As more evidence emerges, Baldoni is gaining public sympathy while Lively's credibility takes a major hit. Social media and industry insiders are calling out the inconsistencies in her claims, with many now questioning her true motives. If it's proven that Lively orchestrated the HR leaks, Sony might launch an internal probe, potentially leading to legal action against those involved. If any Sony employee was involved in distributing false or stolen documents, consequences could be severe. Instead of Baldoni's career being ruined, Lively's alleged deceptive tactics have backfired, putting her reputation and career at risk. Baldoni has come out of this scandal looking like the victim of a targeted attack, and the legal system may soon hold Lively accountable for her actions. As more details surfaced, the industry's perception of Baldoni began to shift. Initially painted as the villain, he was now being seen as someone who had been deliberately set up. Hollywood insiders started rallying behind him, with some producers and directors publicly expressing their support. The court of public opinion was changing, and Baldoni was emerging as the wrong party. Meanwhile, the damage to Lively's career was becoming impossible to ignore. Studio executives who once viewed her as a bankable star were now hesitant to associate with her. If she had truly orchestrated such a campaign against Baldoni, what would stop her from doing the same to another co-star in the future? The risk of working with her was now greater than the reward. Baldoni wasn't just reclaiming his reputation, he was using this experience to his advantage. Instead of playing the victim, he leaned into his role as a fighter, someone who stood up for the truth despite immense pressure. His legal team continued to build their case, hinting that more revelations about Lively's alleged misconduct might still come to light. At the same time, legal experts weighed in on Lively's potential liability. If it was proven that she had fabricated evidence or knowingly spread false allegations, she could face significant consequences, not just in the industry, but in court. Civil suits, career backlash, and even potential defamation claims were now on the table. Baldoni's resilience throughout the ordeal only solidified his standing. Instead of fading into obscurity, he was now seen as someone who had withstood an orchestrated attack and come out stronger. His name was being mentioned in new projects, and industry insiders suggested that his career might actually thrive because of how he handled the situation. The final question remained: how much longer could Lively keep fighting a battle she was clearly losing? With the tide turning against her, the next move she made could determine whether she could salvage her career or face complete professional isolation. Instead of Baldoni's career being ruined, Lively's alleged deceptive tactics have backfired, putting her reputation and career at risk. Baldoni has come out of this scandal looking like the victim of a targeted attack, and the legal system may soon hold Lively accountable for her actions.